Evening and welcome to tonight's Town Council meeting, Council Chambers here in Town Hall, Monday, April 4th, 2016. It is a little after 7 p.m. Agenda item number 1, Pledge of Allegiance. Agenda item number 2, roll call, please.
Councillor Auclair. Present. Councillor Carrasco.
Present.
Councillor Clements. Present. Councillor Strada.
Present.
Councillor Manna.
Present.
Councillor Steves.
Not sure if he's
Councillor Vandal.
excused.
Councillor Vecchia.
Excused.
5 present.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3, consider and accept Town Council meeting minutes of Monday, March 21st, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Simple hand vote. All in favor?
1 abstention.
1 abstention. 4. Thank you. Agenda item number 4, subcommittee reports. A, general government. Councilor Clements.
Yes, we have no minutes for this evening. I have 2 meetings coming up, one tentatively for next Tuesday. Let me just get the date here because it hasn't been officially confirmed, but I believe it will be confirmed as soon as I hear from Yvonne, who is out this afternoon. The 12th at 7 o'clock, and then the budget meeting for general government will be the 21st, Thursday the 21st at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. B, Department of Public Works. We have no minutes to report, but we do have the subcommittee meeting for the budget has been set for April 20th at 6 p.m. for DPW. So April 20th, 6 p.m., it is the DPW budget subcommittee meeting. C, Education and Human Services. Councillor Steves is not here. There is no minutes to report, but I believe there is a meeting scheduled coming up.
I think it's the 7th.
The 7th of April. I'm just pulling up my email because
Right,
he just emailed me.
It's part of the budget, and then they're waiting on the school for the 26th, the school budget.
Yes, I believe it's this Wednesday, but no, Thursday. Excuse me, this Thursday for EHS. D, Planning and Development, Councilor Manna.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I have no minutes to report, but I do have a meeting scheduled for the budget for Planning and Development on April 13th at 5:30 p.m. That is a Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you. E, Protection of Persons and Property, Councilor Auclair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So no meeting or no minutes to report, and we have the budget meeting for protections of persons and property April 19th at 6 p.m.
Okay, great.
Just to comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Just to let you know that and I think most of you have done budget meetings already in the subcommittee level. I'm not sure about you, Kristen, but all the department heads with that particular budget that are coming to your department will be there along with me for those meetings.
Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 5, Chairman's announcements. I just have 2 this evening. The first is that on April 14th, 2016, here in Council Chambers, there's going to be a conflict of interest training. This training is open to the public, to members of different committees, people that are interested in running for different positions. It is a good training to be a part of, to understand the conflict of interest law. Again, it's April 14, 2016, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. here in Council Chambers. The second announcements that I have is that on April 28th, the town hall will be closed at 4 p.m. It is a Thursday, but we will be closing at 4 p.m. due to our police chief and our fire chief are putting together a program in regards to how to deal with an active shooter / evacuation plan here in Town Hall. This is not open to the public. It is for Town Hall staff and also commission members and the council and also school committee members, those that are in here doing the business of the town. So this, again, on April 28th, Thursday, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. will be the training. Town Hall will be closed at 8. This training is being conducted by our police chief and the fire chief, along with several of the staff. But again, it is closed to the public, but we are encouraging the council members to be here, also school committee members and other commission members that are here when nobody else is in the building, so you are aware of how to evacuate the building, what to do in an emergency or crisis situation. I think it's a training that is needed, especially for our town hall staff. So therefore, that's why we will be closing early just for this training. Moving on to agenda item number 6, town manager announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to first announce that Grease will be playing at the Southbridge Middle High School. The first show will be on April 8th at 7 p.m. It'll also be on April 9th at 2 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. This is in the high school, middle high school auditorium, and it's put on by the drama club. I think it is a great opportunity to support the drama club and the kids at school. So do everything you can. I think it's going to be a great show, and I think it'll be tremendous to have a great audience there to see what the kids can do. I had a great opportunity a couple of days ago. I was actually very surprised by it. The Secretary of Housing and Economic Development all of a sudden called us and said he would like to meet with us, myself and the Economic Development Director. Jay Ash, as you know, is the secretary of that state agency and a great advocate on behalf of business. Out of the blue, he called up through Representative Durant's office and Senator Fatman's office and scheduled a meeting with us, and we thought it would be about a half-an-hour meeting. We invited him to meet with us at the Southbridge Hotel and Convention Center so we could show him what a great asset that was and what a key building that was to the community. It turned out to be over an hour-and-a-half meeting. We discussed everything about economic development as it relates to the town of Southbridge. It gave me a great opportunity to explain all the wonderful things that were happening here and the issues where we could really use his help. We talked about the downtown area, and we talked about the AO property, we talked about the airport, we talked about tourism and what we could do to attract tourists into our town. It was phenomenal. I want to really, I know he's probably not going to watch our public access show, but I do want to thank him for coming into our town, giving us that kind of time. It was great. It gave us a chance to sell Southbridge to him and therefore help when he's talking to business people, maybe Southbridge will be one of the towns that's on his list. So we're going to continue to work with him. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal to have that much time with him. And hopefully that meeting will benefit us in a lot of different ways. I asked him to come back again where he could spend a couple hours. I could actually give him a proper tour of our town. And I talked about the fact that we're on the cusp of some really positive things. We talked about the expansion of things that were going on at the airport. We talked about the convention center. We talked about the innovation center that Quinsig is doing. We talked about the new 60 units of senior housing that we're going to be doing. So we had a lot of positive things to talk about with him, and I think that's going to be very helpful. And hopefully, he asked us, well, what do we need? Well, we need a main draw downtown. We need something that attracts people to be able to come downtown. And we talked a lot about restaurants and what Putnam did and how maybe we could do something like that. We talked about access to the river. So it was a very interesting dynamic. Peter drained in and Senator Fatman's aide, as well as Rosemary, gave a lot of interesting comments and very, very productive meeting. So I'm hoping it's a good relationship long into the future with him, and hopefully we can see some results, and particularly as it relates to investment in this town. So that was really, really good. There's an issue I wanted to bring to your attention. There's no vote needed because of the way the past motion was made in this town council. But I think you're all aware that our dog pound is in dire need of rehabilitation or replacement really is what it's in need of. The town council has set aside $70,000 with the hope that there might be some match. Well, the match is not going to happen, but we still need to get on with plans for doing something with that center. We have to meet state procurement law as it relates to building a new building, which is what we need. So we are going to start using some of that $70,000 for actual developing architectural designs for a new building. But we are, after that's done, we are going to be coming back to the town council looking for more money, not in this year's budget, but probably in the next year's budget for what we need to do to replace that building. It's long overdue. The building is, we're going to keep carrying it along for the next year and doing repairs as we have to, but there really doesn't seem to be any choice. We have to replace it. The reason that there's no matching funds we talked about is that the group that wanted to match did not want it to be in its current location, wanted to be outside of that current location. We don't have a property that wouldn't even cost us twice as much to build on, so it would be more expensive to move it off, and we don't have any funds to do that as well. So we're not likely to get any kind of matching funds, so it's going to be on the town to carry that project forward. The last thing, the only other thing I wanted to talk about quickly is all of you know that there's been somewhat of a downtown partnership. Myself and Rosemary have been working very hard with the downtown business community to redevelop that downtown partnership into a Southbridge Business Association. We held a meeting at Finn and Tails, and it was incredible. We had over 35 leaders, business leaders in this community meet. 11 people sign up to be on the steering committee of the new Southbridge Business Association. So we're going to continue meeting that. It was great to see the excitement, the people that are really thrilled that actually, let's start doing something to improve our downtown area. So I thought that was extremely productive as well. So not only do we have a good network of manufacturing companies working together, now we have the retail part of our community working together. And it was nice to see 2 commercial lenders, one from the Southbridge Credit Union and one from, I believe, Savers, 2 different commercial loan people, loan officers who signed up to be on the steering committee. So we have a great mix of people that want to be involved, and I think we have a really strong path going forward. With that, Mr. Chairman, that is all I have.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 7, presentations. We have one on the agenda. It's for a retired police officer, Sergeant Robert Lamoth. I'll have Chief Shane Woodson brief us, and then I'll also come down and give a presentation.
Sure. Good evening, Mr. Town Manager, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. Thanks for having us tonight. If I could just quickly, back in December, Sergeant Lamoth had come into my office and he had handed in his auxiliary badge for the department and said, Chief, thanks for everything, but I'm done working. And as he walked out of my office, I thought to myself, man, he has to be the longest tenured employee in the town of Southbridge, probably in the history of the town of Southbridge. So with that, if I could just kind of gloss over a couple things in his distinguished career. Sergeant Lamoth started with our department back on December 1st, 1968. Before I was even alive, before I'm sure some of you were even alive. This is back in the days with no portable radios, call boxes, foot patrols. Things were a lot different back then, needless to say. During his time with our department, he had held various ranks. He was a detective for about 5 years or so. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant in the late 80s, early 90s. Again, I wasn't even on the job yet. He retired from full-time service with us as a patrol sergeant in 1999, and at that particular point, I only had 4 years of service, so I was still a rookie. And, because of men like him, it's the reason why I chose to stay in this profession and why I'm here today as the chief. So thank you for that. He's inspired many of us. He's an old school type of guy. And, there aren't many like Sergeant Lamoth left. He became an auxiliary, took a couple years off from 99 to 2002. In July of 2002, he became an auxiliary, and he served continuously as an auxiliary officer until December 31st of 2015. So when you put all that together, Sergeant Lamoth, I'm going to make him come up here in a minute, has 47 years of combined service to the citizens, to the community of Southbridge, which I think is just remarkable. So with that, I'd like to present him with an award. I know the council chairman wants to come over first.
So this is on behalf of the town council and the town of Southbridge. Whereas for 47 years, Robert G. Lamoth has provided commendable service to the town of Southbridge and its citizens. Whereas Officer Lamoth's retirement brings an end to a 31-year career as a full-time police officer, a 13-year career as a police auxiliary priest, and 3 years of security service to Harrington Memorial Hospital. Now, therefore, this council does hereby confer upon Police Officer Robert G. Lamoth to its commendation, for the manner in which he has performed his duty as a member of the Southbridge Police Department. Signed by the Town Council Chair and also the Town Manager. Thank you for your 47 years of service to our town. Thank you.
And then, Sarge, I also have a Distinguished Service Award, just quickly bestowed upon retired Sergeant Robert Lamoth, 47 years of dedication and service to the town of Southbridge, December 1st, 1968 through December 31st, 2015, signed by me. Congratulations. Good evening, councilors. Chief Shane Woodson. I am honored and privileged to have been invited here this evening for this award. I have enjoyed working for the Southbridge Police Department, and I sincerely appreciate the help and support I received from my supervisors during my years on the police force. Some of the chiefs that I work under, I was hired originally by Ovi DeRozier. Bernard Fiorelli, I worked under his command, Mike Stevens, Dan Charette, and finally Shane Woodson. All things have a beginning and have an end. My police career, as you heard, began in 1968 and came to end this past December. Although I'm enjoying my retirement, I do miss the companionship of my brother police officers and the townspeople. Again, I thank you, councilors and Chief Woodson, for this honorable evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again, council.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 8, Citizens Forum. Are there any citizens that would like to address the council? Please state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes, and please keep it respectful. Thank you.
Good evening, council, on this very snowy night. I'll keep it brief. I would like to say that April is month 20 of the Landfill Day campaign. I'd like to emphasize to the council and to citizens out there, if you're interested in getting more information or have questions, there is now landfillday@gmail.com for email address. I'll do what I can to answer your questions. Or I'm really trying to attract as much citizen input, concern, and participation as we can. As I said, I'll keep it brief, and I'll leave you with that for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Buxton. Are there any other citizens that would like to address the council? Please state your name, address. You have 5 minutes, and please keep it respectful.
Mike Marchetti, 120 Maria Avenue. When have I never been respectful? So after I attended the budget meeting last week, I had a chance to review the manager's presentation on cable. And when I got up to speak, on TV, you can hear some of the councilors talking. And I heard some of the councilors complain that what I said about contaminated drinking wells at the landfill was not part of the conversation. I disagree. It was Council Chair Carrasco who last year said it was time that we wean us off the landfill money. And the town manager's proposed 30,000 reduction in landfill royalty funds isn't very serious, in my opinion. If you want to wean us off the landfill money, then you need to cut more. If we continue to use landfill money for town, landfill royalty funds for town expenses, I don't see how we're ever going to get off that landfill. And because of the contaminated well problem up there, I think the landfill needs to be shut down. Now, last week I said the town manager seemed more concerned about his budget than he does about contaminated drinking wells. And the town manager said, it's not about the budget, it's about the taxpayers of Southbridge, what the taxpayers can afford. So in other words, what the town manager is basically saying is if your wells are poisoned, that's tough. Now, I told someone recently, this kind of reminds me of Flint, Michigan. You know, in Flint, the officials, the state of Michigan, were trying to save taxpayers' money. So they ended up contaminating Flint's drinking water. Now, someone said to me that this isn't like Flint at all. He said that there are 100,000 residents in Flint. Here, there's what, maybe 50 residents? We're not sure if it's all from the landfill. It's from the landfill. But I just was wondering what the cutoff is. You know, are you willing to sacrifice 50 families, 100 families, 1,000 families, just for the good of the Southbridge taxpayers? Now, we don't know yet if there's more contaminated drinking wells, but the bottom line, in my opinion, the bottom line is this. It ain't right to contaminate residents' drinking wells. And I don't care what the reason. You say if you're forced to cut more landfill money, well, then the taxpayers are going to have to pay more. But I didn't hear anything about the department heads cutting more. I was looking at your budget on the screen there, and I think it was like about, what, 1%? Average 1.25? In my opinion, that's not enough. It should be more like 10% cut in the budgets. So you have choices in making up that landfill money. What choices do the families up that live around the landfill, what choices do they have? They can drink, cook, clean with poisoned water, or they can give up their homes. Doesn't seem like much of a choice. It's pretty cold-hearted, if you ask me. So, you know, the taxpayers of Southbridge should have never believed the tall tales of the landfill supporters who promised us free money from Casella. Because you know what? There ain't no free lunch, especially from the landfill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marchetti. Are there any other citizens? Seeing none, moving on to agenda item number 9. Vote to confirm the appointment of Jesus Rosa as a police officer, police auxiliary for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Through you, Mr. Chair, wondering if we could do by show of hands for these appointments versus roll call for every one of them. It's been done in the past. It's not something that's monetary, and if somebody wanted to reject something, they certainly could get their name on the minutes as such. But I would think because there are so many appointments that a show of hands would be adequate if no one else opposes that.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Just my
All good?
recommendation.
Absolutely, we can do that. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, by show of hands? 5-0. Motion carries. Vote, no, agenda number 10, vote to confirm the reappointment of Ben I'm going to mess this one up. Chanthanouvong as auxiliary police officer for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Agenda number 11, vote to confirm the reappointment of Jordan Manthorn as an auxiliary police officer for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I should have said that before. No? All in favor? Thank you. 5-0, motion carries. Vote to confirm the reappointment of Sean Moran as auxiliary police officer for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor? 5-0. Agenda item number 13, vote to confirm the reappointment of Nestor Santos as an auxiliary police officer for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0. Agenda item number 14, vote to confirm the reappointment of Thomas Wilk as an auxiliary police officer for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0. Agenda item 15, vote to confirm the reappointment of Corey Lemon as a fire auxiliary for a 1-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0. Thank you. Agenda item number 16, vote to confirm the reappointment of Colin Mocklow as a fire auxiliary for a 1-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Agenda item number 17, vote to confirm the reappointment of Naito Lam as a parking ticket clerk for a 1-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Vote to confirm the reappointment, agenda number 18, vote to confirm the reappointment of Evelyn Rivera as a municipal hearing officer for a 1-year term effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0. Agenda item number 19, Councilors Forum. Councilor Clements.
Thanks. Let's see, another great senior lunch, although only a few diehards showed up in the snowstorm, and we want to thank Pat for her wonderful meal again, and some new faces. Even though it was a snowstorm, we did actually have some new faces at that senior lunch. And again, we encourage everyone the first Monday of the month to come to the senior center, the community center on Chestnut Street. I also want to say, speaking of the snowstorm, I was very impressed today. I had to go out to Charlton around 1 to 2. The roads, Route 20, it was horrible. And on the way back, about 4:30, again, Route 20 was really horrible. I was surprised. But when I hit Southbridge, the main roads were nice and clean, and I was very impressed with the way that our group kept up with the snow today. So kudos to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor O'Clair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say congratulations and thank you to retired police officer Robert Lamoth. That many years is a huge, huge commitment and to the community, and I know that I'm sure everybody up here really appreciates everything that both he and everybody else in the police department does for the community. So that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Mena.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I really don't have much to say tonight, except for just be careful out there tonight. Everything's going to freeze up, and it's cold. Unfortunately, Mother Nature had to play this cruel joke on us after April Fool's Day, so have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Councilor Estrada.
Thank you, Chairman. Not coming tonight, sir.
Thank you. Agenda number 20, discussion of our next meeting date, Monday, April 25th, 2016, at 7 p.m. here in council chambers. Agenda number 21, vote to enter into executive session according to Mass General Laws, Chapter 39, Section 23B, to discuss strategy relating to litigation and vote to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilor Clements?
Yes.
Councilor Estrada?
Yes.
Councilor Manna?
Yes.
Councilor O'Clair?
Yes.
Councilor Carrasco?
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night. Be safe.